Legend had it that Blackwood was cursed. The miners, desperate for wealth, had disturbed something deep within the earth. Some said it was an ancient burial site. Others whispered about a creature that dwelled in the caverns. Whatever the truth, those who ventured into Blackwood after its abandonment often reported hearing voices, seeing shadows move in empty windows, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Kayla, an aspiring journalist, had always dismissed such stories as mere folklore. Yet when she stumbled upon an old diary belonging to her great-grandfather, a man who had lived in Blackwood, her skepticism wavered. The final entry was chilling. "I hear them at night. They call my name. I must leave before they take me like the others." Determined to uncover the truth, Kayla decided to visit Blackwood. Equipped with a flashlight, a camera, and her great-grandfather's diary, she set out on a crisp autumn morning. The journey was treacherous, the road winding through dense woods that seemed to close in the farther she drove. By the time she reached the outskirts of Blackwood, the sun was already sinking, casting long shadows across the decaying buildings. The town was a snapshot of desolation. Rusted mining equipment lay abandoned in overgrown fields, and the skeletal remains of homes and shops stood like mourners at a funeral. The air was unnaturally still, broken only by the crunch of Kayla's boots on the gravel. She began her exploration at the town square, where the remnants of a fountain stood, its once proud centerpiece now reduced to rubble. Her camera clicked as she documented the eerie beauty of the place. Yet as she moved deeper into the town, an unshakable feeling of being watched settled over her. Kayla's next stop was the church. Its steeple, though charred, still rose defiantly against the sky. Inside, rows of pews were covered in dust, and the air smelled of mildew and ash. At the front, a Bible lay open on the pulpit, its pages yellowed with age. As Kayla approached, a sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut behind her, plunging the room into darkness. Her flashlight flickered, and for a moment she thought she saw a figure standing among the pews. "Hello?" she called, her voice trembling. The only response was the creak of wood and the faint sound of whispering. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Clutching her flashlight, Kayla hurried out of the church, her heart pounding. She decided to make her way to the mines, the place her great-grandfather had written about in his diary. The entrance was marked by a rusting sign that read, "Blackwood Mining Company." The tunnel yawned open before her, a black void that seemed to swallow the light. Every instinct told her to turn back, but curiosity pushed her forward. The air inside was damp and cold, and the walls glistened with moisture. Kayla's footsteps echoed as she ventured deeper, her flashlight illuminating rusted tools and shattered lanterns. Then she heard it, a faint voice, indistinct but unmistakable. "Kayla." She froze, her breath caught in her throat. The voice had come from further ahead, where the tunnel curved out of sight. Against her better judgment, she pressed on, the sound of her name growing louder with each step. "Kayla." Turning the corner, she found herself in a large chamber. At its center was a crude altar, surrounded by bones. Human bones. Her flashlight flickered again, and this time it wasn't a malfunction. Shadows moved along the walls, independent of her light. The whispers became a cacophony, overlapping voices that seemed to chant her name. Panic surged through her as she realized the shadows were closing in. They had no form, no substance, but their presence was suffocating. She stumbled backward, her flashlight falling from her hands and shattering on the ground. In the pitch black, the whispers grew louder, the shadows closer. Kayla screamed, her voice swallowed by the darkness. Hours later, her car was found at the edge of Blackwood, the driver's side door hanging open. The only sign of her was the shattered camera lying on the passenger seat. The last photo it captured showed the mine's entrance. with a shadowy figure standing just inside, watching. Kayla was never seen again, but her story joined the growing legend of Blackwood. Those brave or foolish enough to visit claim to hear her voice among the whispers, pleading for help that will never come.